we should do this. We should do this on camera. But there's a guy who's actually doing a video without a single to go along with it. It's not selling a product. Do you think that could be the future of videos?
Yeah, I think in the end, it's not far away that you'll have a compact disc that plays video or audio or both. And, as someone who makes videos, that would be great because you'd actually be sharing in the royalties and so on. Everyone has always thought that would happen, but it's taking a very long time. They really are still... It's a problem with the way television has used them, because they do feel they have the right to have them free, whereas the record companies are actually spending a lot of money and should really be able to recoup. It's crazy, that they can't recoup the money that they spend in them, really, because they stand on their own, the best ones.
On what levels must a video be what levels must a video succeed in order to be a successful video? Is there a test? Is there a litmus test?
Well, I think it has to have a good song. If you have a terrible song, it's very hard to have a great video. I think, basically you do have to show the performer in an intriguing or entertaining way, something that makes what the performer's got accessible to the audience. But beyond that, I don't think that's enough just to do that. I think you should really use it as a filmmaker to say what you feel about the world, which is what I've tried to do, is use videos as a kind of film diary of something that I'm interested in. I try and get that into a video, by hook or by crook.
Do you think a lot of people get most of the stuff in your videos, or do you throw in an illusion here and a shot there that maybe is something 10% of the audience is going to get?
Yeah, but the great thing about video is it is seen again and again. So that I think it's good to make them like a riddle, that there are things in there that you get on the first viewing, things in the third viewing, things in the 12th viewing. It has that ability to layer like an onion, you can do, which is great. I like that, of really packing a frame with a lot of information, a lot of excitement, a lot of visual ideas that may take a few goes watching it to decode,
What's in Don't Need a Gun that you might not get the first time you watch it? You might not even get the second time you watch it.
You might not realise that the Prince of Wales is Johnny Ray and the sirens, I don't know. There are a lot of little things. Johnny Ray is an area that people probably wouldn't get unless we tell them about it. But when they know about it, then there are kind of a lot of little references. There's lots of little things in there, little red stoplights and things.
What's another red stoplight besides Johnny Ray?
Well, there's a lot of red stoplights in the movie.
Oh, really? I thought you meant
But I did a thing to make them more red stoplight than normal red stoplight. But it's a little subtle, You probably get that on the second go, or so. I don't know. I hope.
I thought you meant little red stoplights.
What else?
I thought you meant little red stoplights, like things that when you get to, you start sort of thinking about. But actually, there are a lot of little red stoplights in the video. Does that mean something? Is that something that...
Well, Johnny Ray's always driving through them. Well, Johnny Ray, there's a whole history to Johnny Ray about Johnny cruising, and I won't go into it. I don't think it's fair, actually. But some people would pick up on that, I'm sure.
So there's a lot of little red stoplights in it?
I hope so, yeah.
That's interesting. Is that something sort of like, I guess, who was it?
There's an Errol Flynn poster in there. I don't know whether you'll see that, but that's kind of fun. Because Errol Flynn, we shot in a tower block, an empty shell of a deco tower on Sunset where Errol Flynn used to have the penthouse. Billy Idol reminds me a bit of Errol Flynn. It's a bit of a swashbuckler, And he's wearing the boot, he's wearing knee-high, like, kind of Captain Blood boots in this section. So there are lots of little things like that means nothing to probably anyone other than me. But it's in there.
Do you have to do with everything from Billy Idol's shoes to little red stoplights? Are you in charge of every single thing on that screen?
Yeah, you okay it. You have a costume person, and Billy has a very definite look, but what he wore really fitted. It was great.
The only thing we haven't talked about that we really need to talk about is Earth Girls. Earth Girls are easy, and Gosh, tell us what it's about, first of all.
Well, it's a musical comedy about three truck drivers from outer space who land in a swimming pool in the valley, and it's the backyard of a girl who's a manicurist, and she's just about to get married. She thinks happiness is marrying a doctor, and she's about to marry this horrible yuppie doctor who's a real arsehole. And these aliens, in a way, well, they save her from that and change her views of herself and so on. It's a film. It's very much a film also about Southern California and how funny certain things are here.
What is it? You have a total fascination with Los Angeles and Southern California. In a nutshell, what is it about this place that's so weird to you?
Well, it's where the movies come from, which are the best things. You know, I'd rather be a film director than an astronaut any day. And you know, to me, it's a very mythic, romantic place. It may not be so much. That may not be real, but I do. You know, I like the archaeology of the 20th century around, and you know, Hollywood is a bit like Greek mythology. You know, all the gods and goddesses. In 30 years, you have this incredible pantheon, or 50 years, or whatever it is, of myth and madness, and it's affected the rest of the world. I think it's a great city. This city.
Are you going to stay
I'd
here?
rather be here than in New York.
Why?
New York's too European. You know, if you're from Europe, New York is like the last great European city, whereas this is something weirder and stranger and American. You know.
Well, what's so weird about it as a place? Not just it does
Well,
represent
it's-
a lot of strange things to a lot of different people, but
Well, there's so many weird things about it. The murder rate is pretty weird, and the cars, you know, the freeways, and the fact that it's a city that's moving. You know, that most of the lives of people in the city are in cars, waking lives, and that's unique. And it's also probably the most powerful place in the world. I mean, you're in Rome here, whether you like it or not. This is the modern day Rome. It's not New York, and there won't be another East Coast president. They're going to come from here because you're basically that much nearer to Japan, you know, here, in many ways.
so back to Earth Girls.
I don't know, really.
That was actually, you might have a point there actually, because there's more stuff going on in the Pacific. But Earth Girls, is that a music video almost start to finish, or is there a lot of?
Oh no, it's a musical.
It's a musical. So
Yeah, I mean, I get, you know, this is one thing that really pisses me off when people say Absolute Beginners is a long music video. This is bullshit, because it's a musical, and if you look at any old musicals, great musicals, you know, the dance numbers are effectively the equivalent in their time of music videos today. You know, what you remember in Singing in the Rain is Gene Kelly dancing and singing in the rain. You don't remember the plot of the sister and or whatever it is, you know, girlfriend and you remember the numbers, and that's what a musical is about. But a musical is also about, certainly an 80s musical is about ideas and darker things sometimes and funny things. You know, it's not just a series of unconnected music videos. And even to me, the best music videos are great anyway. You know, there's not a, people say, oh, it's just a long music video, but that's wrong.
So in what stage is Earth Girls in right now?
Well, it's an interesting stage. Actually. Well, we're just about to start pre-production on it.
Which means?
I've storyboarded half of it, which means May, shoot in May.
So you pretty much know what half of it's going to look like?
Oh yeah, I know what it's all going to look like.
Do you have a clear idea? When you storyboard something, is that pretty damn close to what you end up with in your head?
Yeah, kind of. Not in every detail, but in the spirit of it.
When you see it on the screen, when it's all finished, it's like, yeah, I thought it was going to look like that, basically.
Well, that's a great thing. The film becomes like an animal on its own, really. But you know the character, you don't know what it will do. It's like a kid, you know who it is, but you don't know exactly what it's going to do that day. And that's what's great about it. It has a momentum of its own.
Now, you know who's going to be in Earth Girls?
Some of the people, yes, but I don't want to.
You can't tell us that either?
Not at the moment. No.
You don't have any confirmed people that you can tell us about?
Not really. No.
Are they going to be from the music world or from the acting world?
Some of both. Mixture.
Mixture of both?
It's a musical, so there'll be hopefully a lot of well-known music performers will be in it, but there will be actors and actresses. So mainly the girl is the lead, is a really active part.
How do you feel working in Los Angeles as opposed to working in England?
Warmer.
Yeah. Okay. How do you find it? Just the climate of people that you're working with. I mean, the people you're probably hanging out at a studio,
Yeah.
writing this thing,
Yeah.
and that's altogether a different environment than being in England where it's cold.
Well, I love the crews here. I think there's more of in the actual crew of the grips and the electricians and people like that. There's much more of a love of actually making movies rather than a love of going into overtime and getting paid a lot of money. Although I'm sure they like getting paid a lot of money, but they actually do get very enthusiastic about what you're doing in a way that I found in England really depressing. These guys just don't really care, and I think that has more in common with places like Italy or France, where they get very passionate about making movies, which they should do, because the movie is made by everyone who's on it, and you really feel it if you've got a crew that's into it and with it. You go much faster, and I find that a real difference. Raising money for movies here is no hard. If you're trying to raise a lot of money wherever it is, it's difficult.
How about feature films? Are you going to be doing more? I know you said you're writing a sort of darker film. Are you more interested in doing feature films at this point?
Sure. Yeah.
Is that more fulfilling?
It's fulfilling on a different level. I mean, music videos are great because they're so spontaneous. I did this in like a week, and then you have something that you felt, and it's there on film, and you've learnt and all that. But a movie is really a chance to make a world, and pull people in to that world, which in a music video you can do maybe if you're lucky, but it's hard in 3 minutes to have that hypnotic contact with an audience.
Is there anything else? Is there anything you want to talk about?